All right, fellas. Now, I know we've all been in situations where we've made a lot of mistakes or bad choices in dating. And no, it has nothing to do with the people that you pick. Because I think a lot of times these days we feel like we want to blame people, right? But what if it's us? What if we're the problem? Now, I'm not saying we're always the problem. Let me not go there and say like men is the problem or women are the problem. No. But there are some fundamental things that I do believe that us as men, we do wrong in dating, and it kind of messes us up. And I'm here to talk to you based on not just personal experience, but data I've collected, and also just, advice that I've gotten from older men, older married men who have been in marriages for a long time that helped me peep game and to realize what works and what does not. But before we get into that, what's up, y'all? Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you, just like that sun is shining bright on my face. Make sure you are in the place and hitting that like button and subscribe button to stay up to date with all of my future Teachable Tuesdays content. And without further ado, I'm going to give you 3 things that a lot of guys do wrong when it comes to dating, and 3 ways in which you can fix it. Well, maybe more than 3 ways. Let's get to it. So, number 1, the first place that some men go wrong with dating is we don't know what we want. Now, I know some of y'all thinking, dang, Marcus, shouldn't that be common sense? Well, listen, common sense ain't so common. Sometimes we are so caught up in life, right? Because we're on the move, we're doing this, we're doing that. We really haven't outlined what we truly want in a woman. And yeah, we might have outlined the physical, but it goes beyond the physical, right? Because yes, you might want a woman that looks pretty. You might like a particular ethnicity of women. Maybe you prefer black women. Maybe you prefer white women. Maybe you prefer Hispanic women. Maybe you prefer Asian women. Maybe you just don't care, right? Doesn't matter. It goes even beyond the physical. When I say knowing what you want in a woman, I'm also talking about characteristics. Like, what is your age bracket wise, right? Like, what are you looking for as far as how old a woman has to be or how young she has to be or whatever the case may be? Like, what's the lowest you'll go? What's the highest you'll go? Things of that sort of nature. Do you prefer a woman that's local, or do you prefer someone who is, at least statewide, right? Do you like your women tall or short? All these things matter. I know I said more than the physical, but you get what I'm saying, though, right? It has to be a thing to where you really, really know the characteristics of what you want in a woman. Because if you don't, and I mean all around, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you'll steady just go for something that is superficial, which is the physical. And you'll often wonder why things ain't going the way you want it to go. Because you got to remember, just because a woman look pretty don't mean she's going to be pretty good for you. Keep that in mind. Number 2, the second way in which men go wrong when they are dating is they move too fast. Now, I'm going to cover this on all angles. We're going to stay in here for a little minute because I really need this to be understood. I'm not just talking about the physical, but I will get to the physical in just a little bit because that's going to be very, very important. But in general, in terms of moving too fast, right? You got to understand that the best relationships often happen when things come about organically, not when they are forced, not when they are rushed, right? What happens when you rush dinner? It doesn't come out as good as you would like it to be. There's a certain reason why certain products require certain temperatures and certain time frames. There's a reason why it says do not thaw out. There's a reason why it says use this amount of seasoning. Prepare as such. Sit in the fridge overnight. Freeze overnight. Different directions. Because everything works out within its proper time frame. And yes, some meals are quicker to cook than others. But I think when you're dating, you have to look at it like it's a meal, right? There's certain recipes involved. And everything is curated so that way it can get the product that was its intended desire. Even if you are starting something from scratch, there's still a certain level of directions. There's a certain level of patience that one must have to get the quality of the meal that they want. It's the same thing with dating. You have to take your time in order for you to get what you desire. And here's the thing. You got to remember, fellas, women think differently a lot than us. Women just don't flat out fall in love immediately. And then, no. Like, we can see a woman and on first sight, we just like, man, she's so beautiful. She's so gorgeous. Oh my goodness, I think I really like her. We don't even know the woman and we like her already, right? Women don't operate like that. Women operate off of what we like to call a slow burn. What is a slow burn? A slow burn is essentially when you are kind of just taking your time when it comes to building up feelings, right? That's what we call slow burn. Most women are slow burn. Even if she has high desire in you, she's still going to slow burn it. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to, because you got to think, one of the biggest things that women crave more than anything is what? Security. She wants to make sure she's safe and secure, safety and security. She wants to make sure that everything is good before she makes any other moves, because she realizes that the man that she chooses is a big investment, right? The man she chooses has the ability to help increase her life tenfold or completely break her, or even some things in between that could be great or not so great. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, we have to really make sure that as men, we are taking our time, that we are going with the flow. And when I say going with the flow, I mean more so not just accepting anything, but I mean being able to just, be calm, be copacetic, just ride, let things ride out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't be the initiator. I'm not saying you should expect a woman to initiate all the time. No, not saying that at all. What I am saying is make sure that you are not rushing the process. Let her come to you sometimes. You get what I'm saying? Look, as a man, when I like a woman, I'm all about initiating things. I'm all about setting dates. I'm all about, texting, calling, all that good stuff. But sometimes I'll take a step back and let her do it. Because it does two things. Number one, it shows that you're not rushing the process and you're actually allowing things to flow. And then also, number two, it's also kind of inadvertently showing if she has a certain level of interest, which we're going to get into that with number 3 in just a second. But let me also talk about the physical in terms of, the process of taking your time in terms of the physical, because that's the overall generic part, right? The physical part. Now, I'm a Christian and I am doing my best moving forward to follow God's word and to really abide by what God wants. What do I mean by that? If we're talking about the physical aspect, I'm coming from the standpoint of no sex till marriage. Why? Because point blank period, the Bible says so. We should not be fornicating. It says flee from sexual immorality, right? All other sins are outside of the body. Anything involving anything sexual or fornication for that matter, it goes against the body, right? For me, I've always questioned why my relationship did not work out. And this is me having a transparent moment here, and I hope this helps somebody. I've always asked God, well, God, I try to do things the right way, and this and that, and so on and so forth. Why don't the relationship work out? And it's like, did you really do things the right way, Marcus? Did you actually respect God's daughter enough to not put your hands on her? And when I say put your hands on her, I don't mean in a violent manner, because, no, we don't do that around here. But I mean from a standpoint of, that's God's daughter. That ain't my wife. I don't need to touch. You know what I mean? And I've come to the conclusion as of recent that, and I'm going to just tell you something that, was revealed to me over the summer. And I really felt like the Lord was talking to me when he said this. He said, if you want to date my daughter, you need to learn how to, if you want to be with my daughter, you need to learn how to date. And I know some of you are like, what? And learning how to date properly means doing it God's way. So why am I tying this into the physical? Right? Let me explain myself. The reason why I feel like this is so important to understand is because when you move too fast, right? Not only are you setting yourself up for not doing it God's way, but you also setting yourself up to blind your eyes. More often than not, the women that I was not physically involved with, it became a lot more clear to see her for who she was and our relationship for what it was when we weren't physically involved. When we were physically involved, that clouded a lot of judgment. A lot of judgment. A lot of situations I should have been walked away from, but I didn't. You want to know why? Because I was hooked. Because she was hooked. That's what happens when you move too fast with the physical. And to me, moving too fast with the physical at this point is having sex before marriage. That's moving too fast. I don't care if y'all been dating for 2 years. That's moving too fast. And shoot, at the age that I am right now, I ain't old. I'm 34, but I'm at the point where if I'm dating you for 2 years, either I'm about to put a ring on it or I done already put a ring on it. You feel me? I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. But let's just say you're not a believer, right? Because I can't just assume that everybody that's watching this is a believer. I'm just telling you my truth. But let's just say you're not a believer. You're one of those cats that's like, man, bump that. I got to get it in where I fit it in. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. No judgment here. If you're going that route, I would still give yourself some time. And the reason why I say that is because women can sense when you are thirsty. You don't want to come off as thirsty, right? And you also got to read body language too. You got to allow a woman to be comfortable for her to even think about going that route with you. Because if she ain't comfortable, she ain't going to do it. You know what I mean? So that's just something to think about. And I get it. Sometimes men think with the second head instead of the first head. Yeah, I said what I said. But it's the truth. Take your time, fellas. Stop trying to go in for the slam dunk. Build with that woman. I ain't slamming dunking no more from here on out until I get married. And I mean that. Next woman I date, I'm telling her flat out, hey, just letting you know, I want to wait till marriage to be physically intimate. And, I want to respect God, and I want to respect you, and I want to respect myself. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, y'all. And if she not down with that, then she ain't the one for me. Because the one that's for you should bring you closer to God, not away from God. But we will talk about that in another video. Number 3. I'm going to try to make this quick because the video is already going on about to be 14-something minutes. We're going to try to breeze through this one. But you need to make sure that you understand the interest level that she has for you. That's where a lot of men go wrong. That's the third way that men go wrong when it comes to dating. There's 4 different types of interests. You have high interest, mid interest, low interest, no interest. We're going to start with high interest. And I've talked about it on this channel before, so I'm going to be brief with this. But, I have some new viewers. By the way, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. You are awesome. High interest is when she is what? Obviously interested in you. She makes an effort. More than an effort. She's consistent with communication. She finds any way possible to spend time with you. If she can't make the time, she will be more than happy to reschedule a time. Or if you reschedule a time, she gonna be down for it. She gonna find a way to be down for it. That's when you know you have a woman that is highly interested in you. Right? So we're gonna start there. High interest. Then you have what I call mid-interest. Now, I want to put an asterisk next to mid-interest because a lot of times we've been told that if a woman doesn't have high interest in you, you shouldn't mess with her. I'm a disregard that for a second, right? If she has low interest or no interest, you shouldn't be messing with her, but we'll talk about that in a second. If she has mid-interest, give her some time to cook. The reason why I say that is because, once again, like I said before, women are slow burners when it comes to relationships compared to men. There may be a reason why she may have mid-interest. What's mid-interest? Mid-interest means there's interest there, but she's feeling it out. She's feeling it out. Why is she feeling it out? Could be a number of reasons. Number one, she just met you. Even if a woman clearly has a high interest, she's going to have some mid-interest characteristics, because the truth is she is still feeling you out. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to figure it out. And you can't rush her through that process. But also, what if she has some trauma in the past? What if there's a possibility that she may have, like, you know, some doubts about her capabilities? Maybe there's some signs that you're giving off that makes her feel like, I'm not sure. Let me wait. And then also, it could be she's the type of person where she wants to take her time. Doesn't mean she's not interested. It just means that she doesn't want to get her hopes up, so she wants to make sure everything is good. So you can work with mid-interest, because believe it or not, mid-interest can turn to high interest real quick if you give it time. But mid-interest can also turn into low interest if you don't give it enough time. You gotta, again, you know the saying, let it cook, let her cook, let him cook. You gotta let it cook. Now let's talk about low interest. Low interest, that is when a woman flat out has the idea that she likes about you. Maybe it's a quality or two that she likes about you, but I'm gonna be real with you, she don't really like you like that. You feel where I'm coming from? Like, she likes you enough to kind of keep you around, but I can kind of bet you my 2 cents that she probably has options. Or she's keeping you as an option until the one she really wants comes along. You're a placeholder. What is a placeholder, Marcus? Well, I'm glad you asked. A placeholder is someone who is holding you in the spot until the one they really want comes along. It's kind of like playing sports, right? You got basketball going on, and you got your 4v4, and there's a guy you really don't want to pick, or a girl you really don't want to pick up, but you pick them up because you know you need somebody in the meantime while you're waiting for the other person to come along. They're a placeholder. As soon as the other person comes along, they're ready to kick you out the game because they knew who they really wanted. Both men and women operate the same way. You know what I mean? So just be very mindful of that. You don't want to be a placeholder. And of course, obviously, no interest is what? No interest means she has no interest at all. She told you she's not interested. She said, hey, you know, I'm not really feeling you like that. I don't really see you in that way. We could just be friends. She ain't got no interest. So the way in which men go wrong, for number 3, is they don't go with a woman that's high interest, or should I say we, because I made that mistake. We don't go with a woman who's high interest or mid interest. High interest is great. She into you, dog. Go get her. Mid interest, give it some time. Let it cook. Continue to be authentically you. Low interest, you're a placeholder, man. No interest, I don't know how much more blunt you can get than that. She don't like you, dog. So those are my 3 ways in which men can typically go wrong when it comes to dating, or mistakes that they make when it comes to dating. Now, real quick to end this video off, how do we fix these 3 things? Number 1, starting with the knowing the type of woman you want. You gotta actually sit down with yourself and really look at characteristics of women that maybe you've dated in the past, or, you know, just women in general, right? Identify what you like as a man. Some men like a woman that can cook more than a woman that can clean. Some men like both. Some men like women who have an edge. Some men like women who have kids, maybe because they have kids of their own. Some men like a certain ethnicity of a woman, right? List all those things. And again, don't make the list superficial. Make it authentic. And don't make it just based on who you're attracted to alone, because believe it or not, God will, in a hot little minute, turn that around so quick. You be like, oh, I prefer these type of women. The next thing you know, he's seeing you the total opposite. I've seen it happen a million times. Wouldn't be surprised if it happens to me. You know? For number 2, how do men fix the aspect of rushing? Simple. Slow down. Don't be so needy. When you come off as needy, I'm going to keep it real with you. Unfortunately, when you come off as needy, it's one of those things where people can tell when neediness happens. And it's not attractive. So, slow your roll. Don't play games. But at the same time, like actually take your time in terms of investing in, you know, that woman. And also, stay focused on what you're doing. I guarantee you, if you stay focused on what you're supposed to be doing, guess what's going to happen? You will find a nice little balance of continuing to build yourself up and also getting to know somebody else as well. Because your priority won't even necessarily be them. And that's not to say that you won't make time for them, but you won't be thinking every waking moment, oh my gosh, I gotta text, I gotta call, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. No. And women respect men who are on their grind, who are doing what they're supposed to do. And don't let you be somebody who could be on your grind and find a nice balance and making time for her, and she like you. Oh, it's a wrap, baby. You got it in the bag now, for sure. And even with the physical aspect, right? Let's dive into that a little bit. How can you correct that? Think with your first head, not with your second. Think about what you want in a woman long term. Think about how easy that could crumble if you just give into your flesh. Stay in your word. Pray. Matter of fact, I'm a firm believer that as people in general, but especially as men, with us possibly being the leaders of the household one day, we need to pray before we even get into a relationship. Shoot. As the recording of this video, there's a woman, I would have posted it by the time I asked her out on a date. I'm going to be real. But there's a woman I have a huge crush on right now. And you know what I'm doing before I even ask her out? I'm going to pray. Why? Because it's been a long time since I've done that. And I want to do it God's way. You want to take your time? Learn how to do it God's way. And last but not least, number 3, how can we go about fixing, recognizing the high, low, mid, and no interest? Simple. Just take your time. Take your time, young man. Mama used to say, no, literally, take your time. Because when you take your time, you can easily identify what's what. And don't be so pressed. I guess that could be my bonus one. Don't be so pressed. I'm at the point right now in my life where for the first time in a long time, and not saying I was always like this, but like real talk, I'm not pressed. I'm not wondering, God, when is it going to be my turn? I look forward to the day where I'm happily married and, I got a nice house with kids and I'm building with my wife and I'm able to love on her for the rest of my life. I'm looking forward to that day. But for right now, there's a lot of other things going on in my world, And that keeps me grounded in terms of seeing if a woman is interested or not, because I'm not so hard pressed. Trust me, as of recent, I've definitely had women that clearly didn't have interest in me, and I was able to see it from a mile away because I remained calm and I remained in my frame. So I really hope this helps my fellas out. I do apologize. I did not mean for this video to be this long. It took almost the whole entire car ride. This legit could have been a car ride chronicles video, but hey, it is what it is. It's Marcus Fraser from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. I want to do a video for my ladies, but I think it would be better if I brought a good friend of mine on to represent for the ladies, because yeah, I'm a guy and I might have some good advice, but ladies can't do it like ladies, so I'm gonna let you hear directly from the source. But until next time, Love you guys. Take care. See you soon. Peace.